You have to put, no, I think you just have to, yeah, okay. Okay, I got 55 registered.
Kind of hard to see the blurry 55 up at the top in our show bar.
Okay. Yeah, if the light comes on, your answer was registered. The way these things work, and here we'll go ahead and see. Oh, we had 98% yes and 1 no. Okay. Now the one thing is these things move ahead, and if these are adopted by the college, it registers your device number. So if these are assigned to a student, they could be used in doing pop quizzes in class and things like that. Attendance, we actually can figure out who pushed no just for a joke. Things like that or whatever, but in doing that. So it is kind of neat, and it downloads the answers into just an Excel spreadsheet, and can be used a lot of different ways. So it's kind of a neat little thing, and we'll see how it works with that. But okay with that. And then you can also identify the right number. So really in discussion periods and things like this, it could make you actually make a decision, log in that decision. Could be used in TBLs and things like that. So again, it's a nice little project, and they've come down in price reasonably. So I think in bulk, the handheld devices you have there are around $32 if I remember, something like that. So
or 44. I was going to say no, 44. They're not as standardized. Oh no. They're that's the markup at the bookstore. They don't, yeah. And there's only one part I want, to see as we move through.
And then you rethink, and as long as you push it within the time and the polling time that's open. Some things can be set up. You can have an open polling time. Sometimes you can put a timer like I did on some of these things. So there again, it will register your last answer. Now the one thing in an environment like this and doing this, if you're using this for assessment, of course, you have to get away from, polling your neighbors, unless it is a group activity and doing those things there. But again, there's just some utility in doing some of these things. Let's look at a little question here. 14-year-old boy has pruritic inflamed lesions on his legs. It's diagnosed as atopic dermatitis. He's given a prescription for a topical corticosteroid. While counseling them on the use of the medication, what else should you tell him? Okay? Give you a chance to read the answers before I turn the polling on. Okay, polling begins. 5.
You'll see they get used to, the people running the show, they get used to turning off the paper. Once you see him talking to the other.
Now, okay, need more time for, okay, that's one of the things in looking at it too.
2. Tulsa and then the home campus of Oklahoma.
Questions are a little bit longer, so I'll give you time to read the answers or maybe even read them out loud before we start putting answers in. Okay? We had 54 responses. 57 of them had chosen C, keep fingernails.
He's going to, we don't have to watch, but he's going to talk to the other campuses. You can see them holding their remotes in a whole different area and flip screens. And again, this is that video conferencing environment. So,
what's the other people saying they're saying this? Why not A? I was sitting in Tulsa, that's what I was saying.
You're in Tulsa, this is what you're seeing. You're seeing, the PowerPoint and his little picture screen. If you're sitting in the classroom, all you're seeing is the PowerPoint screen and your teacher's in the front. So those are the two differences.
And the correct answer is C. So, all right.
Well, he has, just his room. Depends on your video conferencing room. He has a screen of Tulsa. So he can look at them and know when they're raising their hands or asking questions. They have microphones and stuff at Tulsa. But not every video conferencing area is the same, if I'm not mistaken. So, he can see them, and he's going to go, in this question, the camera will switch views and show Tulsa, and then flip back around to how it works. And I've only done video conferencing 4 or 5 times in my 3 years here, so I'm not extremely up to date on what everybody's video conferencing abilities are, but I guess this is relatively about what you would see. So, yeah, but this is basically what you're seeing as another student.
What would you expect these?
So we don't have to.
Probably a technical question that you don't want to address, but
you know me so well.
Remote site. This is all connecting over IP.
Yes.
In which case, it's got to be a public addressable IP, or can going to go VPN?
Public address. I have technicians in the room. So yeah, public address. But the other cards, they have an easier, right? Don't they have an easier connection?
Yeah, if it's not a public IP though, or if it's public IP only, that's going to eliminate a lot of classrooms on most campuses.
Okay.
Because they're generally behind a private net. So.
Okay.
Yeah, well, with port forwarding, you'd still be able to send responses. Only if the IT guys are along. True.
Oh. Okay. Well, there are still, this is the next thing that we can talk about. That this might help, Doug, if you're more in a lab environment. There's a new VPAD coming out. But first, what is VPAD now? Is anybody here familiar with VPAD or uses VPAD? Okay. VPAD basically allows you to do is you're able to use a desktop, a laptop, any kind of pocket PC. I personally use a Palm device. Anything that you're going to be able to connect to an IP address. This connects the IP address to the host computers. Okay, so your lab environment, most of the time this is used in a school that has a laptop initiative, that has a very powerful wireless network, because you're going to have to connect if you're doing that, or has wired-in connections in their classrooms. I'd say my biggest VPAD users are by far professional schools, and on top of that, by far medical schools. They are required to have a laptop or required to have some type of pocket device. And this kind of gives them one more reason why they should have it. They use these in rounds. They use these in classroom settings. They use them from year 1 to year 4. On the other end, my other very powerful VPAD user is the University of Illinois Springfield. Their VPAD usage works in a synchronous environment, in a classroom environment, but it's their accelerated classes, their gifted classes. They're given computers when they come in. It's a very small, 120 students, and they are a special class. They go through gifted and accelerated classes throughout and have a preset format for the way that they go through school in this particular program. And they're a big VPAD user because, again, laptop, why should I use a laptop? But in the distance learning,
Browser-based?
Almost. I'm getting there. You just jumped right ahead. But as we lead into that, no, I'll get there one second. But in a distance learning idea, you can do this from your home, as you were saying before. I can, be on my computer at home. Problem with this, with firewalls. So if you're outside the network, inside, you're not going to be able to go through firewalls, or they're going to have to open 100 different firewalls, and it's been a problem. So what did we do? We went browser-based. So that lead-in was beautiful. So, we have went into using the web to be able to get through this firewall issue. And it's going to be a web page. Students can have that, go right in there and utilize VPAD in that way. So I have it on my Palm, if you guys would like to see it. This is just the login part, and obviously, what does this do? If this tends to shut off, just tell me and I can help you, because it sleeps fast. But it's going to allow you to utilize any phone that has a browser ability and be able to answer questions, doing text. What's the greatest thing about VPAD? It's text ability. It's going to give you text, fill in the blank, essay, things like that, any number of things. And as well, same as using a response card that you use every day in class. Just gives the students a choice. You may have, did it die down again? Red button in the middle. So hit the red phone and then the middle circle button, and it'll unlock it.
If it's browser-based, Carrie, then are we talking about running it on a central web server, or?
Yes. Yes.
So a single server typically for most institutions running their primary website?
Yes.
Right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this is the new, again, this is a June product. Everything's June. Yes?
The VPAD software itself, is that something you would purchase each one, or is that kind of like a download and add-in? For example, I do a lot of webcasts, webinars, and if this was something I had for one of my sessions, could my attendees just like download the application for their computer for that session? Or
it all depends upon how you go through the purchasing part of it. There's good things. there's going to be, different ways of going about this. There's some universities that want to have their students pay for things.